Sorry for getting a late start, but I want to welcome everybody to the April 20th, 2021 meeting, official time 6:04. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This time I need approval of the agenda with we have one amendment. We need to add the resolution for capital improvement elements, if we could, to number 6 on new business.
Motion to approve the agenda with the amendment, Chairman.
Second, all in favor, aye? Aye. Ayes have it. We got a special guest tonight. I'm going to let Commissioner Vaughn introduce them, and I think they're going to do our invitation and pledge, correct?
That's right. I'd like to welcome Girl Scout Troop number 60438. Y'all will please come up. And their troop leader, Scout Mom. I asked her what her true title was. Was it troop leader or Scout Mom? She says I'm all of the above. So at this time, they're going to lead us in the pledging of invocation. Oh, which one you want to do?
Either one. It's
Either
up
one?
to y'all.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, I thank you for this beautiful weather and for this evening, Lord, to be able to come and meet. Lord, I ask you to bless each person here as an individual, Lord, and the board as a whole. Bless their meeting as their discussions, Lord. Give them your, just be with them, Lord. Give them your grace and your guidance with every discussion and every decision, Lord, that they make. May that it bless this community and let it prosper and flourish according to your will. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Very much. Hold on 1 minute. You want to tell us a little something about your girls? And I understand y'all built some tables that I thought the Boy Scouts had built.
Yeah, shame on you.
Very good job, Stan.
These girls are a little bit more than your average Girl Scout. I'll let them tell you a few things. And then we
I got some questions that I was going to direct towards so that they would answer.
Thank you.
All right, so we've got Chloe and Ashlyn here. How many years have y'all been in Girl Scouts?
I've been in it since kindergarten.
Since kindergarten. And what grade are you in now?
8th.
8th grade.
I started Girl Scouts when I was in 1st grade, and I'm currently in 10th grade, so this will be my 10th year.
Very good. What are some community projects and activities that y'all do?
We blocked people's yards and done
All right, did y'all hear what she said? Y'all come up to the microphone.
We've flocked people's yards and done some yard sales and bake sales.
Do y'all know what flocking someone's yard is? That's where the pink penguins get put in people's yard. Flamingos. I've already had it done to me. I quickly paid $10 extra to have it done quickly to someone else. But that was a really good fundraiser that they did.
Yeah.
And then some more fundraisers we did was we built picnic tables over the summer. And then we also got pallets and painted the American flag on them, which was pretty fun. And we did a car wash or two. And then another fundraiser or event we're doing this Saturday, we're going to the Turkey Fest, and we're going to be selling some Girl Scout cookies there and a silent auction. So y'all should come.
Oh, Girl Scout cookies?
Like chocolate man.
We saved a few.
Yes, sir.
like Samoas. So I do have a question. Girl Scout equivalent of the Eagle Scout. What is it?
Their gold award.
Ah,
They
okay.
have the bronze, silver, and gold level. They earn the last 3 levels of Scouts. So as a junior, they can earn a bronze. As a cadet, they earn silver. And as a senior, they earn their gold award. So if they get all 3, they get a scholarship.
Awesome.
And these 2 are fixing to work on their gold award.
Very good.
Fantastic. Great.
Chairman, you can get a picture with them?
And tell me about senior trip. Do y'all know what your senior trip's going to be yet?
We're going to Australia in 2024.
Very good. And that's what they're fundraising. A lot of it goes toward is their senior trip. Cool. Thank you. Are we going to do a picture?
Get a picture.
You're in it too.
Come on.
Just be the girls. Mask on,
I'll put you one of the masks on. Go take your mask off.
All right. That one will see the pretty
So I
smile.
can see the pretty face. Just don't breathe like
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Were y'all Girl Scouts too? Were you
I was a Girl Scout.
You were a Girl Scout?
I was.
Just wondering. Well, that was great. All right, we move on to like consent agenda approval of minutes. We have our work session on April 6, 2021. We also had the first Tuesday and executive session on April 6. The board's had an opportunity to review the minutes. As everything's fine, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved, Chairman.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Ayes have it. All right, Mr. Van Collins, visitor tonight on ethics between commissioners and department heads.
Thank y'all for letting me come in here and speak tonight. Guess everybody here knows what we're up against. We had a miscommunication at our last meeting. And since then, there's been a lot of phone calls made, a lot of conversations made, and I believe it's all been fixed. If we could have only made one of those phone calls before the last meeting, the fire trucks would already be on order. And we've got some commitments to work together better. There's not a whole lot I need to say. I think I've talked to most of you, and if I hadn't talked to you, some of the other firefighters have. And y'all have got our support 100%, and we now feel like we've got your support 100%. Some of the issues that happened in the past, we've got a great opportunity now to straighten them out. We've got commissioner that's got fire experience. We know there's been city-county differences. He's up here, he represents the county. When he steps back, he represents the city. And so now we've got an opportunity to put them together. We can all work together. Any department head, 2 weeks ago, Don Graham was blasted. He completely blindsided. Don't think it was meant to come across that way, but that's what happened. He's in a unique situation that most department heads aren't. Every department head in the county works people that are on payroll. You see the group of firefighters in the back? They're all volunteers. He's got to balance leading volunteers as well as leading paid personnel. I've had the opportunity to do both. I'd a lot rather lead paid personnel. It's a whole lot easier. But this is a dedicated group of people in the back of the room. Every one of them's here because they want to be. And we just look for y'all to help us and guide us. When we get these new trucks in, if we get the new trucks, and I feel sure we will, but when they come in, we're going to be so close to moving to a Class 4. I look for it to happen very, very soon. So, we really need y'all's support on this. We've got a lot of things going on. As far as the narrow specs on the truck, specking a fire truck is a whole lot different than specking a sheriff's car. There's so many different things that go in it. I've had the opportunity last week to look over the specs. Yes, they're narrow. I've seen fire truck specs with twice as many pages, twice as much information. In fact, Commissioner Wood and I have discussed a way so that we don't end up with just 2 replies on the next bid. And we're going to work together and try to make that happen, because it can put everybody in it casts a shadow if you don't have competitive bidding. So we're going to see that that's taken care of. I think that was completely unexpected by everybody. I believe you actually sent the bid packages out, but you know, that's something that's really out of all of our control. We send it out and what they do, but next time, if what Commissioner Wood and I talked about, then we will get replies from several manufacturers. But I appreciate y'all letting me talk. If there's anything, I think all of you got my phone number now. Anything that I can pass on to anybody in the fire department, I'd be glad to do it. Just let's support them, and we're going to support y'all no matter what. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Van.
Any questions for Mr. Van?
I have any question. I do want to make one comment, Chairman. You hit the nail on the head. None of these folks are here for the money. They're here because it's in their blood. That's what they want to do. And I've said it since the day I've been on this board. Nobody in this audience or nobody on either side, city or county, thinks, where's that fire at? Or where's that response at needed? Or where's that emergency at when the call comes through? It's how fast can I get there and save somebody? And, you know, we can't say how much we appreciate y'all, but please know that we do, and we support you 1,000%, not 100.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Right, well said, Sam.
Anyone else?
I'm just happy that Van had the opportunity to resolve the issue, and I think that's leadership. And that's what our fire department is known for. And it starts from the head and goes right down to the very first or last volunteer, however you want to call it. And I'm appreciative of his willingness to make things work, and the ability for our county and our city to really work together to make things better for all of our citizens. At the end of the day, our goal is to keep everybody safe, protect our structures and the people. As we get closer to, I'd like to see an ISO 1 maybe in my lifetime, maybe. But, you know, as long as we get there and we get there together, that's all that matters. So I appreciate you.
If you get us the water supply, we'll get you an ISO 1.
Working on it.
Working on it.
Working on it.
Thank you, Mr. Van.
Thank you all.
Very much. And each and every one of you, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
We move on to new business tonight. Health Department audit. Mr. Hutchinson?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank y'all for having us tonight and allowing us to come and present on behalf of the Health Department. I have here with me your wonderful nurse manager for Jones County Health Department, Sherry Bryant, and she's here to answer any questions that you may have. Jones County Health Department has given 3,938 COVID-19 vaccines in 2 vaccine, beg your pardon? As of today. 2 vaccine clinics per week since December. Prior to COVID-19, the Health Department was on the regularly providing child health services, maternal health, and a broad array of other services, including your environmental health services for the county as well. And in addition, your Women, Infant, Children's program with over 6,000 visits a year in the past couple of years. Those services have declined significantly because of our emphasis on COVID-19. The ladies have been testing, they have been giving vaccines, and the number of patients coming through the health department who we are usually dependent upon for Medicaid, Medicare, and insurance billing have dropped significantly. So needless to say, our revenues generated locally in all of our health departments, and I work for the district, and our district, of course, serves 13 counties. So all of our numbers are down in our public health clinics. All of the vaccines being done for COVID-19 right now are being done through a drive-through clinic. It's a drive-through model, naturally because of potential for infection or reinfection, and so that is a safety precaution. Our district COVID-19 budgets coming via DPH by way of the CARES Act from last year have helped to assist in providing a tent for the last couple of months out there at the health department to help keep the ladies and all of the staff, not just the ladies, because we got guys showing up and volunteers showing up with the Medical Reserve Corps. We got a lot of people that have assisted in this effort, and you've got local law enforcement and other people that have assisted as well. But we've been trying to keep them out of the rain and out of the heat and protect them from the elements in order to affect this drive-through clinic. The funding for the CARES Act is beginning to dwindle and run out as far as tent support. So we probably are only looking at a few more, maybe a couple more months on that. So we are here tonight to discuss, and we've already been to the Board of Health and discussed this, and they have our support on asking for permission to go forward with construction of, at a minimum, of a awning to go out in front of the health department to accommodate the ladies as they are dispensing the vaccines. And it takes, what, about 20 minutes? It's about a 30-minute visit, 20-minute visit?
To get a drive-through vaccine?
Well, to get the vaccine itself, it takes a few minutes, just a few seconds, but they have to be evaluated.
15
And
minutes.
so,
Yeah.
each person has to be evaluated, so there's about a 20-minute lag there. We are looking, we've had a contractor come out and evaluate what it would take to build an awning that would complement the existing facility architecturally, not just throw up something that looks like a barn out there. And they have estimated the cost to be somewhere in the neighborhood of around $125,000 for approximately a 26 by 50 square foot awning that would allow for 2 lanes of traffic and about 4 cars at any given time within that area, and also allow distance between the cars so that the nurses can make their way from car to car and have room to stand safely. It would be covered probably, if you've seen the awning or the breezeway at the library, it would be something similar in style, but it would be much broader and much larger and extend by a breezeway from the front entrance of the health department out over the parking lot and allow traffic to circle through. There is an existing awning in Jasper County at the health department there where Sherry is also working some. She's also our acting nurse manager there. And they've had a lot of success with the use of that awning and have been very appreciative of it. So, you guys own the building, of course. It is a Jones County facility. And we are looking at some costs there. And of course, we would appreciate any financial assistance that the county may be willing to offer. But the health department would like to move forward with this project as expeditiously as possible. And as special projects director, then I would work with Sherry and Mr. Risner to get 3 bids on the project before we move forward.
Any questions for?
So, so you're asking for any financial assistance or help. Does that mean you're looking for the county to pay for it entirely, or are there American Rescue Funds available after CARES 2?
No, sir. The health department has some existing funds that they're willing to commit toward this, but they, of course, want the county's support and any assistance that they can provide. Now, before COVID, I will go ahead and bring this up because I talked to Jason about this. We met with him almost 2 years ago now about potentially redoing the health department completely. It's somewhat dated, and as a medical facility goes, exam rooms are very crowded. Environmental health is located in an odd location and doesn't have enough room. The conference room is so small we can't use it because of the number of people that attend our Board of Health meetings. We have to actually go to the what's the learning center next door?
The Knox building.
Knox building, and utilize that conference room. So we have a need for training space as well. So we had actually approached Jason prior to COVID about coming to you guys and say, hey, what do y'all think about a CDBG application for a new building? And we've got some fund balance we would commit toward the match on it, if the county could put forth some support as far as land or that type of thing. Of course, that all went on the back burner when COVID hit. None of us, including you guys, had the time to deal with that, and we didn't think it was appropriate to even try to attempt that. We would like to, at some point, move forward with at least the renovation of the existing facility. And the health department has some fund balance that the Board of Health is committed to do that with. But if you guys decide that we stay there. But at a minimum right now, we need this awning completed so that we can protect these staff members while they're dispensing COVID vaccines. And it would serve as a permanent awning for the same purpose to use during flu clinics. Our WIC vouchers were all drive-through during, parents were pulling up to the building, had to park in front of the building. Someone would have to come out to the parking lot to dispense vouchers for WIC. So that's made it very cumbersome, but this would provide a drive-through option for that as well. And of course, pending another pandemic response, you'd be prepared for that in the future.
I can definitely see the value in having the canopy, the drive-through two-lane canopy, no doubt. I would be concerned about spending this kind of money on a canopy if we're going to renovate. I'd rather have the renovation and a canopy done at the same time. If not, you're going to have because I'm just being honest, that's $125,000 for a 1,300 square foot awning that's a nice awning.
It is.
And
it is.
a real nice awning. And if we've got a dated building that needs renovations, I'd be hesitant to support that kind of money for a new awning on an old building. So I think you get more bang for your buck. What is our CDBG cycle? Are we anywhere close? Greg, would you know? I don't call you out or anything.
We didn't know each other.
For this year's application, you're too late. The next cycle, and this is actually the perfect time to start thinking about the next cycle, would be due projected to be April 1 of 2022.
And I know that you guys are going to probably, and I've been reading a lot on the American Recovery Act. I know that y'all are getting funding, and there's supposedly, we don't know all the details yet. We don't know about what the stipulations are going to be, but I know that within the act, there is a good bit of money dedicated for infrastructure. And a lot of it's directed at public health. But, we haven't heard anything yet directly other than that a lot of the money's going to be flowing through the CDC. But I know the counties and the cities are getting money that can also be used for infrastructure. So anyway, just throwing that out there. But the biggest concern we have right now is for the awning, and try to provide them with some kind of cover. Now, if you want a temporary option, what Putnam County, Baldwin County, and Washington County have done recently is to contract with a provider that has gone in and built a wood structure with a metal roof that will accommodate, some of them accommodate 2 lanes, some of them accommodate 3 lanes of traffic for a cost of somewhere under $38,000. It's built with 6x6s and wood trusses, and then it has a really nice metal roof, and then they attach it to the building with a breezeway with the same structure. I don't think that would look very good in front of the building, existing building, because that's our only place we can put it right now. The side drive and the back drive are just not wide enough. We tried some tent work out there early on, and it didn't work at all. And with the amount of traffic they've had coming in, sometimes 200 to 300 cars a day, the front parking lot where it is now is pretty much the only place we can put it. Unless we want to consider the CDBG going that route, finding land, doing a whole new building, or doing a renovation, and just pay for a tent for the next ever how many months.
I would suggest May 10th, I think, is the deadline for budgets for the American Rescue Fund, I believe, right? I know it is for the school district. Is it for counties too?
We get our first bundle of money by May 10th.
But you got to have your budget prepared of how to spend it.
They haven't-
First draft.
No, they haven't. They haven't given us any guidance on that just yet.
Counties and cities, I think, are getting their 50% of their funds
Yeah.
regardless, and then they have to come up with a plan afterward to.
Yeah, but it's a pretty quick turnaround, so I would think that being, less than 30 days away, we could at least postpone to find out what we're gonna do and use the tents to that, because I'm a little hesitant to spend a lot of money on something if we know we're gonna renovate with a CDBG grant next year. I mean, it would almost be tempted to, buy a $2,000 tent and wait it water barrels for a
I think we
year.
can rent some nice ones.
For a year.
Yeah, rent some nice ones, let them maintain them.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now with the CARES Act funds, and we're good for a couple of months on that anyway. But the CARES Act funds right now are paying the rental company to maintain those and cover the liability on them, which is a big part of it. We were looking at investing in tents would have been manpower, a huge manpower effort on our part trying to put up, take down, and monitor during bad weather. So that's why we went with the rental companies. It's expensive, but it's probably the best option for it.
I know prior to COVID, I sit on the Board of Health, I know we had already voted to go forward with the renovation, if I remember right, with a
Yes, sir.
a dollar
We did.
limit, and if we're gonna do that, I support Commissioner Kitchen's 100%. If you're gonna do one, you need to do it all at one time, that way it flows better, and, you're not, let's just see what's coming up in May, and then incorporate the remodel and that on and all at one time, and then I think it'd be a lot smoother transition than just trying to throw it in there right now. That's my thoughts. What's the will of the board, or any more questions or not?
Makes sense to me.
So let's do it all at once.
Yeah, do it all at once. Need to look at the big picture and the long-term goals of, what they
Can I
provide
get a
for us.
motion to that effect, so we'll have it on? You already had a pretty good one before, Commissioner Kitchen, I'll let you carry on, put you on the spot.
All right, Chairman, I'll make a motion, we postpone decision on renovations until we can find out what the American Rescue Plan funding is going to do as well as any CDBG opportunities with the consensus that we're looking to renovate the entire building with the canopy.
I have a motion, I have a second. Second. Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Let's have it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
May
it.
I move this trophy? What is that for?
What?
So it's not right in front of the speaker's face.
That would just happen to be.
What's that trophy for?
Yeah, just go take it and
Just
put it
go-
out in the
Do you
hall.
want to give it to me? You want to put it in the chair beside
No,
me?
just put it out in the hall.
to look around it.
Put it on the table.
Put it on that table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll explain the trophy a little later on, how's that?
Just be careful with it.
I held it delicately.
He put it up there for a reason, to get
I
some more
know.
revenue. All right, Homer Childs Road Maintenance, Commissioner Wood, I think this was on your request.
Yes, sir. About a month and a half ago or so, I was approached or called by Miss Joyce Hatcher, a resident on Homer Childs Road. She's an 84-year-old, nice lady here in the county. She's lived here 80 years. And Homer Childs Road, back when the county was started, was known as the Monticello to Milledgeville Road. They had various wooden bridges or steel bridges over creeks down through there. But those have all been abandoned further back in the property, back in the U.S. government property. Homer Childs Road, for the past 15 or so years, has been maintained, or it's been maintained, a government county road since the start of the county. And it's been maintained up till, say, 15, 20 years ago. And then the maintenance stopped on the last 0.2 of a mile of road there. And it's 1.3 miles off US 129, and then it's like 0.2 of a mile, so it's 1.5 to the mailboxes. I've been out a couple times to the property, and met with the, landowner, Ms. Hatcher. As you drive down the road, the left side is owned by Ms. Joyce Hatcher. On the right is another, it's U.S. government property. So the public has access to the property on the right, and there's a place where hunters, throughout the year, whichever season it is, nature watchers, people that go out and observe, things like that, have access down this road. And she had questions about getting that road scraped and maintained, because it hasn't been any maintenance or activity. It's passable, but it's in bad shape if an ambulance or a fire truck need to get down that road. But it is there's no signs, there's no gate, or there is no trespassing signs, there's no gate up or anything like that, but it's the road. I think I made a video and sent it to Jason. And I was suggested to come to the board and ask about county maintaining that last 0.2 of a mile up to the 3 mailboxes that are on that property.
Back in my logging day, we did some work back in there, and I want to say that U.S. Forest Service actually, at that time, was taking care of that little short section you're talking to. We had to fly some rock before we could go in there to that section. I don't know if it's I know we had to put rock down.
Right.
So for that section, as soon as you got on the U.S. Forest Service, we had to rock that section right in. But we're talking 20+ years ago. So
right.
I don't know if it's really ours or it's actually U.S. Forest Service responsibility. That'd be the question I'd have to ask.
Right. She remembers, the county motor graders maintaining the road for many years, and she cannot recall of any public meetings or correspondence from the county of saying they were going to abandon or stop. It just stopped.
Right. That'd be something we just need to do research and see if it is indeed.
Make sure it's the county road.
Right.
That section.
Right. I'm just saying at one point we had to. I probably the last one didn't work on that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and I know we had to start right there, that property line Forest Service and go in. So, but it probably is county, but we just need to verify that.
Right.
I mean, if it's county road, obviously we have to do the maintenance on it.
Yeah, it'd be a minimal amount of effort because,
Sure.
you have hunter traffic, the nature watchers, and, of course, the families that live there
Right.
on the left at the end.
That's something you must rather check into with Public Works
Okay.
and make any corrections we need to make.
Mr. Chairman, I was going to mention too, part of the challenges, Commissioner Wood and I have been kind of looking at this. We've pulled some old plats that are in your packet there, and one of them does indicate end of county road, but it indicates it's short of where the resident recalls the county maintaining. So it's just one of those things that's not perfectly clear from looking at the plats as to where the county road ends and where we've traditionally maintained. So just wanted to add that. I don't know if that helps anything or.
I'm sure it's something you and John Lowe can figure out if it's high or something we need to maintain.
No.
Was anything else from Homer Child?
That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we move on to number 3 on new business, County Representative for Dangerous Dog Board.
Good evening.
Hello.
So our Dangerous Dog Committee has a vacant seat, and with your blessing, I would like to nominate Ms. Vaughn to fill said seat.
Wow.
So
I'm good
moved.
with that.
Second.
I third it, but I can't do it. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Ms. Vaughn, opposed?
Nope.
Oh, I was gonna figure you, that sounds like a deal. You got your first board appointment.
Yay!
All right. We can get you a list.
That was easy enough. See, that wasn't hard.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
All right,
welcome.
thank you.
All right.
All right, we moved to new business on 4, State Place Cemetery. Mr. Resner, you had some questions.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This is just kind of one of those things where I wanted to bring it before the board and ask for direction on what, if anything, we should do. We have a cemetery that's located kind of at the corner of Overland Way and Cumslow Road, sort of right next to Public Works, and the state has a small parcel there where they have rock and things that they store. But this parcel is owned by Jones County, and as best I can tell, it originally started out as a quote-unquote paupers cemetery, but now it's I put some pictures on the desk in front of you that I took this afternoon, just to give you an idea of what it looks like there. Frankly, I think it's just being used as a free burial place, and I don't know if that's fine or not. We do cut the grass in there, but beyond that, we don't do any maintenance. We don't have any type of process in place for burials to take place there, and I just kind of wanted to get some guidance on whether or not the board wanted to do anything different there, or should we just allow it to continue on. There are certainly some older areas that are overgrown. We provide some level of maintenance there, but kind of in some of those older areas, it's not as well maintained. Some of the newer areas, there are actually fresh grave sites there, are a little nicer. And anyway, that's about all I know about this place, and just wanted to see what, if anything, y'all might want to do differently.
About how many graves are there?
I would guess 100 or more. As you follow the road back in there, there are several different areas.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of funerals in there, so how many are unmarked?
That's what you.
That I don't know. Yeah, there are definitely unmarked graves in there.
And all of them are pauper burials?
No. So I think I should have mentioned earlier. Now we don't do pauper burials anymore. We do for indigents. We have cremation, and we'll provide $700 towards cremation. But we have a process laid out for that, and an application and verification of indigency and all that kind of stuff in place for that. So
I think at some point we've got to have some kind of process by which burials go in there, because if not, eventually we're going to have a completely full cemetery that the county owns and maintains. What happens 100 years from now when we start getting deteriorated headstones and markers? I mean, are we then responsible for repairing them and replacing them if a tree falls on them? I mean, I got a lot of experience in that in some historic cemeteries, and it's not cheap to maintain those, but it seems like a practice that has been going on for some time, and so two parts of it. I think we got to have a process so that we know, A, who's buried there,
Right.
so we keep the history of it.
Need a good
B,
register.
that we're not being taken advantage of by somebody that just don't want to buy a plot for their family. And C, if we do have families that are buried there, and we do have, maybe we have an opportunity there that they might want to help maintain some of it if there's areas that we're not maintaining. But if it was a county cemetery, we need to respect those that are there and keep it maintained for sure.
We've got one employee that knows where is that my understanding? We have one employee that's over there.
Former employee.
Former employee.
Mhm.
I mean, it's got to be, but any cemetery, you've got markers that you can measure out, figure out who's where, because, I mean, it's, we got, like I said, we got to have some kind of accountability where everybody's at, who's there.
I would venture to say that Larry Childs probably knows a good bit.
Between him and Earl Colvin, if they don't know, nobody knows.
Yep.
And I'll look in Earl's book and see if this is, he's got the listing of the graves in there, because he did lots of it.
If we get more information on it, I'll suggest and see if there was a process at one time that just been through change of administration, it's gone to a different way and not been Satisfied.
Okay.
Bring it back to the board, we can make a decision which direction we want to go from there.
Okay.
And on that note, I will say that one of the families that's got family members buried in there sent me a thank you note to thank the county for taking care of the tree.
Yeah.
They were really appreciative of that, so thank y'all.
Thank you.
So we're gonna table that?
Yes, I need a motion to table that for further.
I make a motion to table the State Place Cemetery until we can find out some more details.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? I'll go
Real
ahead.
quick, in terms of just simple grass cutting and maintenance, I think we can handle that, right? I just want to make sure we're doing that.
We're doing that.
Okay.
That's
All right,
All
thank
right.
you.
Okay. Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Ms. Wagner, you have wellness program renewal. It's that time of year, isn't it?
Yes, it's time to renew our wellness program with Corporate Health Partners for the May 1st to April 30th dates. So the price hasn't gone up or anything. It'll be $68,440 for the new year.
Any question for Ms. Wagner? None? I entertain a motion to approve our, well, I think you're working on that right now and you're walking. I understand.
That's right. Motion to approve, Chairman.
I'm thinking you've been.
Second.
So you got Mr. Hunter Myler over to my right. Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. I love the smiles. I can see it through your mask, Phelan. Good deal.
I was looking at Sam.
All right, number 6. Thank you for keeping me straight. See, I told you, that's why I sit between all these women that keep me straight. As our work session earlier, we talked about capital improvement elements. I need a motion that I can sign this resolution, but Mr. Greg, come forward and you present it.
Well, I think he just about said everything,
Just,
which is we need a motion so you can sign it, but
So moved.
it's going to start a 60-day review period.
All right.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Second. Any more discussion? You missed a work session. It was a good one. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You want me to sign this so you can leave?
Sure, if you want.
Greg's like, I'm out here anyway.
Jason needs to sign it.
Because I know you love sitting through these county meetings.
You need to ask to be put at the top of the agenda, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you very much.
That way you can get home and get your supper. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Old business. Public Defender's retention of funds. Mr. Risner? No, John Bradley. That's right. I'm looking wrong.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here on the application to retain funds that had been sent to the chair. In criminal cases, there are a number of fees and fines that are collected. I think there's about 15 different categories. And for 2 of those, the bottom line is, right now they go into the state treasury. But with this application, which certifies that we are in compliance with the indigency determination, those funds can be retained locally by the county commission instead. What would happen is that the Superior Court clerk, instead of sending them to the collaborative clerk's authority, would instead just remit them to the county commission. They're not earmarked for anything. They would just go into the general county fund. I can't tell you that it would be a lot of money, but the ones that would be collected, there's a $50 application fee when someone applies for a public defender. And if the application is approved by the Georgia Indigent Defense Council, then at that point that money could stay locally instead of ending up in the state's coffers. There's another fund as well, which is comes off the bail and bond cases, and that one deals with the lesser of $100 or 10% amount of the original bail. And if the application is signed and approved by the Indigent Defense Council, and 50% of those monies would be retained locally for the county commission instead of going into the state treasury. So if there are any questions, I can add more detail, but that's it in a nutshell.
Motion to approve public defender retention of funds?
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
That nothing else is reduced from state, or if we get this money, they don't take something else away, do they?
No.
Oh, go.
All right, any more
They're
discussion?
bad about that.
Anybody? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. And I do have an updated one.
If I sign here, you won't have to wait for me, will you? Updated. Just one place? Thank you, sir.
That's a copy back.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wood, award fire truck bid.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. As Mr. Van Collins spoke earlier, we've had extensive conversations between Don and myself, and spoke to Van this past weekend a couple times. And I believe, all the questions to the, questions we had have been answered. It's like they said, in the future, when bids are written, we will advertise in such a manner that all vendors feel they have a fair shake in the deal, and then the Board of Commissioners at that time will make a choice of, which bid the department head, recommends and has the best equipment for the price and service and life of the equipment. But that's, like I say, I have no other questions, and we, I don't know about the other commissioners, but I'm ready to buy some fire trucks.
Don?
All right, sir. I do want to say this, that this is water under the bridge as far as I'm concerned. The department heads get beat up every once in a while, and it happens. But I think that honestly, I feel like that in my heart that there was a fair shake completely with these vendors. Anybody could have came in and put anything on the table, and it was open. But anyway, let's buy some fire trucks. The two bids that we got in, Pierce, the Pierce Company. Now, I want to say that the three combination pumper trucks from Pierce are coming with 100% of equipment. That's everything you need and more. At $346,296.66 times 3, with the discounts, be $1,038,890. Sometimes I can't even think how much money that is, but that's what it is. $1,038,890. And then the second bid that came in from Peach State out of Norcross was each one of those vehicles were with no equipment on them, $362,503 times 3, at $1,089,509. And I request tonight to go with the Pierce Company of $1,038,890. That's 3 trucks complete with 100% equipment.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept the Pierce bid for $1,038,890 on the 3 fire trucks.
When's it gonna be paid?
Is it coming through your department?
Yes.
Splosh.
Splosh.
bonds.
Yes.
Splosh bonds.
Second. Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Tom.
Thank y'all.
Ms. Allen, you doing the second reading tonight? We have the second reading of the Animal Services Ordinance, and once you present it, we have a guest that signed in that'd like to speak.
So on our second reading, I handed you all another copy. Don't look in your book. Look at the, no,
She got it.
what my draft.
Sorry, I take a word for it.
There were no substantive changes from the first reading, so it would not prevent us from doing our second reading. I did make a sort of a clarification. We had two section numbers. There was 14.2A and 14.2B, which caused some confusion then in the hunting dog section. So I've changed those to 14-2.1 and 14-2.2. Again, not substantive. And the only other change for clarification was I added in a reference to the code the Georgia code section that defines what a hunting dog is. So, you know, my Lhasa Apso is not considered a hunting dog. But, so I've added that, and then I've added in, just for clarification, the section, the Georgia code section there that states the dog has to be under the direct control of the owner, which we had before, when it's in a lawful open season for such game or while training. So again, not substantive, it just references the code section for clarification. So it would not prevent us from going forward with the second reading. All other, I have reviewed the other requested changes. I do not feel they're needed. And all other things have remained the same.
Any questions for Ms. Brody? Would I guess, Mr. Doug, you'd like to come forward and speak before the board has an opportunity to vote?
My name is Doug Rupke, 127 Coppergate. Thank you for doing those changes. I still have a couple issues on a couple of things. The field euthanization. The animal control does not have the tools to perform that in the field. Their drug program prevents them from taking the drugs out of the shelter. They're not allowed to carry firearms. But the Sheriff's Department, the game warden, or the veterinarian can, with their request, and they'll have to do it. And I'd like to see that changed to some other language. And I kind of gave you my view of that. They can cause an animal to be disposed of. And then I move on to disposition of impounded animals. Here again, the business day thing. The county code classifies a day as a calendar day of 24 hours. And rules of construction and definition says other designation when used in the text. And the state law requires business days. And Jennifer, she made a pretty good presentation about how the shelter views that, and she said that when they're open, that's a business day. It's the county commissioner here that just wants the day instead of the business day. I'd like to see that changed. And in the same section there, it allows an animal to be disposed of or donated. Doesn't say anything about being placed up for adoption, although in 1420 it allows that. I'd like to see that put in there. Then in 1424, regulation of a dangerous and vicious dog. No dangerous or vicious dog shall be registered unless. Once a dog's registered, then they have to comply with everything. That's not a condition of being registered. I'd like to see that changed. And it would be beneficial to put, the definition of what the dog, dangerous dog means and what a vicious dog means in the ordinance. But that's my concerns. Until the.
Oh, sure.
Or I want you to finish and then.
Okay, I'm
with
pretty
your
much
Okay. All right, so I, again, have been through the latest email of these concerns just to make sure everything was addressed. To start with, our definition of dangerous and vicious dogs, I've referenced anyone reading this to the exact code section that defines it. It does not need to be duplicated in the in our ordinances. And where he states no dangerous or vicious dog shall be registered unless the owner can provide. That's exactly from the statute. That's the requirement. That's the way it should be. There is no change that's needed in reference to that. So it says no dangerous or vicious dog shall be registered unless the owner can provide sufficient evidence that all of the applicable provisions. What that is saying is that Animal Services is not going to register a dangerous or vicious dog unless the owner can provide evidence that they have satisfied the required provisions by law. That's exactly the way it needs to be. I think he may be sort of reading it differently, but that's exactly what needs to happen. The Animal Services cannot register a dangerous or vicious dog, as it states, unless that owner can provide proof that they have met state law requirements. So that change does not need to be made. Secondly, I know we have been through this 5 business days numerous times, and the board decided to leave it as 5 days. And the reason why I believe that is, again, fine and does not need to be changed. First of all, I have researched multiple Columbia County animal ordinances were revised in 2020. Monroe County were revised in 2018. There are several other large counties that I've reviewed. They all have 5 days, not 5 business days. The code section that Mr. Doug references, where he defines that it's 5 business days, is actually out of the bond allocation code section. It has nothing to do with what we are dealing with in our animal services. That's an entirely different code section. It deals with bond allocations. It deals with the Department of Community Affairs, affordable housing. That's not relevant to this. We actually have a section in our ordinances, section 1.4, that addresses computation of time, and it states that anything less than 7 days, then Saturday and Sunday and legal holidays are exempt. We are covered. We are good with 5 days, and again, that's how many of the other large counties they do. It does not say business days. It says 5 days, but we would meet any requirements in that respect. So that we're fine, and I'm confident that it can be left as is. The other concern here, impounded animals. We have a provisions that allow for adoptions. I don't think it has to be duplicated, and to say that again. And then I think that was the main issue. There was an issue with that he did not address as far as feral cats. I again reviewed our ordinance. I think it is fine as it is. I think that our code section allows the county to euthanize feral cats along with dogs. The code section that's referenced, the code section is really about a notice requirement and the county not having to spend money to post public notices to keep animals that have no owners, that are truly feral or stray, things of that nature. So I don't feel that needs to be changed. And then we dealt with the 5 days versus 5 business days. Field euthanasia. So that is correct. Our animal services right now, and again, this could change in the future, but right now they cannot field euthanize, which is why our ordinance states that if field euthanasia is required or is needed, that they can contact the sheriff's department or they can contact a veterinarian to assist with taking care of that. That's what he's asking to be added, but it specifically states if that's needed, if such is needed, referring to field euthanasia, Jones County Animal Services may request assistance from the Jones County Sheriff's Department or veterinarian in a situation where field euthanasia is required or necessary. That's certainly what they would do because they can't do it on site. So it gives them that authorization to request assistance from a department that can address that. So I don't think that there's a change that needs to be made there. If they at some point are allowed to do field euthanasias on their own, then they don't have to request that assistance. But for so long as they cannot perform field euthanasias, then this specifically states that they may request assistance from the appropriate department, the sheriff's department or a veterinarian that can assist them in accomplishing that. So I don't believe that there needs to be a change made to that as well.
Right now, the ordinance reads they have the right and authority to perform. They don't have that right and authority to perform it.
They have to comply with state law. They understand that.
But the ordinance, gives them the ability to do this. And if they do that, they could get in a lot of trouble because they're not certified to.
They understand their certifications, but it gives them the right when they're on site, if that needs to be accomplished, to request further assistance.
But the ordinance, allows them to perform it.
No, they're not allowed to perform it if they can't by state law perform it.
Right, but the ordinance gives them authority to.
This specifically states that they would call in a department if they can't, they may request additional assistance. So I think it's fine.
They may also,
Well, if at some point they can do it, then great. They don't have to call the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
But they understand that until they're allowed.
Then the ordinance will have to be changed at that point.
No.
No, it wouldn't have to be changed because it says they may request if they need someone else to come in.
Yeah, I agree with that part.
Right, but if that ever changes and they can personally do it, then they don't have to request the assistance.
Right.
State law.
Right. I think it's fine the way it is.
Mr. Doug, you've been very helpful.
Yeah, thank you
through all this.
for your time and effort.
There are concerns.
There's been so many ideas you've given us that we've been able to use, and we might not agree on everything, but there was a lot of good points that we were able to use and improve our ordinance, and that's what we need input, because this is a public meeting, and everybody's got the right to be heard.
And I absolutely reviewed every email that you've sent and took all of that under consideration.
And it's my opinion and your opinion and the board's opinion, everybody's opinion.
Sure.
And it all has to be considered.
Sure.
Because once a law is a law, everybody has to follow it.
Sure. But we do thank you for all your help.
I thank you guys for, doing a lot of the work, and Ashley particularly.
Sure.
And I think we have a good product.
Yeah.
That we've made a lot of really good changes.
Yeah. I like a lot of the changes made, and I still have concerns about other ones, but that's my opinion.
Okay.
Continue.
Well, thank you for your help.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
So is the motion in order now?
Absolutely.
All right. After much discussion and deliberation, Chairman, on advice of our council, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the amended policy or ordinance on animal control. Animal services, I'm sorry.
I second that.
Oh, you scared me. I didn't. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Some questions about that section.
After the meeting.
Yeah. We'll take it outside.
Contractor pay rates, Mr. Risner?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So, this is an item we've discussed a couple times before. I did talk with the consultant that did our salary study some time back and asked him to run this scenario kind of through the same model that we use there. He came back and said that using the same criteria that we did for employees in that process, the pay rate would be $21.15 an hour.
Motion to approve the new rate of $21.15 per hour.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Let's have it. Thank you.
Oh, effective, sorry. Is that effective the next
For
pay
the next
cycle?
pay period, so you have time to whatever Levita has time to put it in there.
All right, thank you. Going ladies first. Mr. Jeffrey, you got anything tonight on department heads?
I just want to thank the board and again Ashley for all her countless hours of hard work that she has put into this new ordinance. And I just appreciate all that and admire her for what she's able to get done.
Great. Thank you. Mr. Graham?
Yes, sir. I want to thank everybody from the board and also from the folks in the back of the room. They're the workhorse back there. I'm just the messenger boy. And thank y'all for approving the trucks. I'm working on the tankers as we speak, actually. Been in the planning session last week with 2 tankers. So in about 6 months I'll come up and we'll see what we can do. But we're looking at 1 year to take delivery on these 3 trucks. So it takes time. So thank y'all. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Don. Mr. Resner?
I don't have anything.
Nothing, Chairman.
Well, Mr. Mayor, you got a city report for us tonight? Welcome as always. No city report. Good. All right, citizens' comments. Anyone tonight like to come forward and speak?
I would.
Come on forward.
Gary Harrell at 396 Pineview Road. Hey, I want to thank y'all for approving the fire trucks tonight, but I do want to state that I was a little disappointed that the last meeting y'all did not approve them. I felt like any issues that may have come up at that time could have been resolved before that time. And that's kind of like telling your wife, we finished to buy that car we've been looking at for 6 months, and then at the last minute say, I don't think we're going to buy it right now. But anyway, I do want to thank y'all for that, as far as going ahead and approving it tonight, and we look forward to having them, and we look forward to working, further with y'all. So thank y'all once again.
We thank y'all, every one of y'all. Anyone else tonight? Citizens' comments? No one? Commissioner Martin, you want to start us off?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. I'm thankful that our fire department is getting what it needs. I remember going all the way back to PPE and how long it took for us to get to those items. And it's for the 4 years. And it took Don and a number of firemen, Van, and I think the other folks were involved as well, just advocating for what we need. If we don't know we can't do it, fire trucks are sort of a no-brainer. We know we had to do that. We just make sure we need to do it right. Lesson learned for all of us. Going forward, whatever it is that our driving focus is, whether it's an ISO rating or making our county fully efficient, whether it's training or the resources or equipment, let us know it much in advance. And Don, I know it has not always been easy, but I want you to know it's easier, right? So let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Thank all of you all. I've only had the pleasure of having one Jones County fire. The house didn't make it, but we made it, so thank you. I appreciate it. Everything that we need, let's make sure we get it out there, okay? I don't know if that means you guys coming to us or us coming to you, and I haven't been to training in a while, so I'm coming back on a Monday night, so yeah, I'll be ready. Roads too, we did have some calls about roads, and I'm going to get with John when he comes back. I'm not sure if he was going to be here or not, but did have some more calls, and I appreciate their response to some of the other items that we had. We do have a lot of requests now for cutting grass and ditches. They did quickly respond to Kingsview Village. Ms. Hall was extremely pleased, and I appreciate her for being diligent. And it takes everybody doing their part, and whether we're an employee or volunteer or a citizen, we have to speak up to make it right, and I thank you guys for doing that. Parks and Rec, we haven't had a meeting about those things, and no different than the fire department. Our Parks and Recs have needs. I'm excited about the work that's happening over at Liberty Park. Want to make some changes over in our area as well, because the playground at the baseball field, I'm still getting calls, hey, they're having a baseball tournament, I can't get in to play on the playground with my kid. I don't want that to ever be an issue. And we know that particular playground is antiquated anyway, so I want to put that at the front And I wanted to mention that to Greg as well. You know, it's time to upgrade that playground so we can safely play and kids can have a good experience. And if it's a transition towards the 49 Well Center, great. Vaughn calls me every week about the floor, so I'm not exactly sure where we are with the bid.
It's out for bid right now.
I remember.
Actually, we got those back.
All right, I remember we put it out, and I just hadn't heard anything, so I'm glad. So I can tell Vaughn, because if Vaughn calls you, he keeps calling you. All right, so
Don't let it go.
thank you. Yes, but he's advocating and doing a good job on 49. I hope to do some expanded services. Every year we talk about making sure that we have it staffed. We should make sure all of our gyms are open and available, because I think this year kids are going to come out and play because they've been cooped up. So let us be ready. Okay. Thank you again, and for the health department too. I'm glad that Sam brought that up, and we were sitting there kind of passing a note a little bit about even doing some sort of joint collaboration on a building, and I think we probably need to have an honest conversation about that, this facility, and others that we may be able to co-locate, because it's about time. Thank you.
Commissioner Mullin?
Had a great day Saturday, even though I didn't win. But we won't go there because I'm going to win next year. If you don't know, it was the Great American Cleanup. Keep Jones County beautiful, and I packed down the back of my little Kia hatchback with lots of trash. Thank you. But Sam still won in District 1, but me and John are going to bring it on even bigger next year, aren't we? Yeah. So don't forget, Turkey Festival is this weekend, and at the W.E. Knox building. Food Truck Frenzy is Gobble Wobble something other is Friday. Food Truck Frenzy. Pickleball. Sam, since you beat me at picking up trash, I challenge you to a pickleball match
You
on
just like getting beat, is
Thursday
that what it
at
is?
6 p.m. at the Morris Bank
Thursday at 6
Rec
p.m.
Department.
Challenge. Have you been practicing?
I've been playing and I enjoy it. If you don't know what it is, look it up. Pickleball. They've got 2 courts right now at the Morris Bank Recreation Department. It's played with a wiffle ball and a paddle, and it's actually ping pong, but you are playing on the table, and it's pretty fun. We've had big crowds for the last 2 weeks, so come out and take a look at it. You'll enjoy it. Thank you.
Commissioner Wood?
All right, good evening. I'm happy that we have the fire trucks purchased, and I look forward to their delivery and seeing maybe some pictures along the way as they're being built. They're long overdue. We need some reserve trucks in the county, so if one is out being serviced or has a breakdown, we have some backups that can fill in, and we don't miss a step. A couple years ago, we had a discussion on fire trucks, once we were in this room, and we talked about a committee to look at new fire trucks, and that never came, to happen. So, and I've been asked by former commissioners, what committees you got put on? And it's like, well, they hadn't done it yet. So I'm thinking, there's some interest among the different board members of whether it's recreation, this one has, this member has an interest in that. That may be an idea to revisit and help open those communication lines up so we, instead of some line item that says no exceptions, maybe some minimum standards, meets or exceeds, would help open up some dialogue and, just clear up some possible discussion matters. But I'm happy about that. We had a good day Saturday cleaning up, and I didn't realize, I was surprised to see three plus roll-offs of tires show up, but I think we could have filled up maybe 10 more. That's a good understatement. Probably 8 of those would come out of Haddock in District 2, because there's a lot on the sides of the roads. I could probably win the tire award for most tires in the district. But I look forward to
That's true.
the next cleanup day, and it's really in every week, every day that you're out cleaning up in front of your property. Take pride in it, and that little bit goes a long way, and it adds up to a whole district, and then it adds up to a whole county if everybody just cleans up in front of their place. It's all a team effort. All right, thank you.
Commissioner Kitchen, do we need to make this official?
Nah, we good. I don't want to rub it in, it's not good. You know, yeah, boasting is not, I mean, after this many years, it's just.
Whatever.
So we don't need to do official picture taking of you getting
Nah,
crowned up?
she's already got it with Wendy Sourpuss's face over there.
I think we need to get him a green jacket, right?
Exactly, I'm gonna
No.
my jacket next year.
A dirty brown jacket.
I brought my 5-year-old, so I said I had the cutest
She did.
volunteer there.
She definitely did. Now,
And I had some great help on hamburgers, I'm gonna tell you something.
They were good too, thank
Oh,
you.
thank you.
In all seriousness, Chairman, first I want to say thank you to the firemen and rescuers out here in the crowd. Thank you for what you do first. Thank you for protecting us. Thank you for standing behind your chief. Thank you for standing beside your fire family. That's awesome. Just flat awesome, any way you look at it. As far as Saturday, it was a great event. We probably need to do better job of advertising it and getting it out. This year was pretty tough. We talked about it a lot, whether it was time to get back out, with just, last year with COVID, we couldn't do it. And so, we wondered how many people would want to gather at the end and have the weigh in and all that kind of stuff. So it was tough. So I think that kind of got us a little off track on advertising it and promoting it. We tried. And I want to officially apologize to the mayor and the city that we didn't, I don't think we did a good enough job inviting them or making sure that they knew. We had a lot of confusion. We had about 5 events that day that were all going on at the same time. And so, but in case y'all don't know, there is a District 1, 2, 3, 4, and City of Gray tag in that cup there that fits in that little slot. So anybody that wants to bring it on and win that challenge can put their name in that little slot right where District 1 is now. You can put it in there. All seriousness, the tire amnesty was a huge hit. We're already talking about doing it again in September just because it was so big. Just got a report of we had 304 tires and almost 2,000 pounds of litter picked up off the streets in 4 hours. So that just shows, well, 2 things. It shows how tough it is to have people do the right thing and not throw trash out their window. That drives me crazy, and we're adamant that we're going to get more teeth in some ordinances to try to stop that. Second part of it is education, that people know that we're serious about it, and we know that we're serious about cleaning up our community, and that was evident by the people that showed up and cleaned up. But the fact that we have almost 2,000 pounds of litter off our streets, so that when it is starting to cut the grass, it's not scattered and blown all over the place. It looks like something we could be proud of. So thank you to everybody that participated. We're definitely going to do it more often. We're finding more and more resources would keep America beautiful and keep Georgia beautiful. So there's some EPA grants for tire amnesties and stuff like that. So definitely going to do more of it. But I appreciate everybody that came out and volunteered. It was fun.
Great. I love to see this crowd in this room. It's your participation is a must. I even got my dad here tonight, so that's getting him out. So, he said I saw him poking his head around the corner. I said, "I'll be darned, my dad's here." I told the running joke is we get Sam's father here both, we might be in trouble that night. But I thank y'all very much. But this time I need a motion to adjourn and go into executive session for real estate.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor, huh?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.